Hello, folks. Hello. How's it going? Welcome. Round 6, U.S. Chess Championships coverage. How's everyone doing? We are back with the watch party. Obviously, a lot happened yesterday since the stream. I'm sure you guys heard about. Some big games today. Hans Niemann playing Levon Aronia. Levon sticking to his French, which is very interesting to me. I'm sure Hans here is well prepared. Or at least he should be, because Levon already played this line earlier in the tournament. A6, B5. So H4, this should be some Hans preparation. He should be well in his book here. Hello, Jake, Cross, Filet, how's everyone doing? Good to see y'all. Oh, Cross, going to chess club to teach. Nice. That's awesome. Wonderful. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so this game is happening. We got Caruana against Oparin, D3. So Italian game, knight of 6, D3, H6, E3. Bishop C5, knight C3. Okay, so some dirty stuff from Fabi as usual. A3, knight C3. This matchup is interesting because Oparin is like longtime second of Fabi. And, they always, actually, I think they've been working together, recently as like maybe the candidates, maybe more recently than that. So, obviously they are going to know each other pretty well in terms of their openings as well. So interesting to see kind of like what what happens in this one. I saw Filet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the pod with Ben Johnson. I thought it was a good conversation. I thought it was a good one. Yeah. I don't really have a lot to say on the controversy. I mean, it's very sad what happened, and I was pretty shocked when I heard. I understand like people are a little bit shocked to hear of it as well. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add, to be honest with you guys. Just like, yeah, again, very surprising what happened. I wasn't there. I just heard, kind of like along with everyone else. And yeah, very sad. Like, I don't know, it's just sad. Like, it's a real bummer for everyone. Wow. So yeah, I just want to leave with that. I just want to say like, I don't really have a lot to say. You guys are free to talk about it. Maybe me and Jesse will talk about it at some point, or me, Jesse, and David. We might end up discussing it on the podcast. But yeah. So Christopher, he was supposed to play Wonder Liang today. So today I Wonder gets a bye round instead. Christian was saying that they've played 1,000 Blitz games in the Italian. So they do some opening sparring. Opening sparring, nice. They're believers of the opening sparring. People asking what happened. So yeah, it was posted on like Twitter and Facebook, I think, and Reddit. Yeah, the problem is now, like, to get all the information, you really gotta be all over the place. Some things are on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can read the statements from St. Louis online. Basically, Christopher Yu yesterday after his game with Fabi, you know, he lost the game. And okay, again, I wasn't there, but this is what I heard from like multiple people. He like kind of stormed out of the room. He was really angry. And then as he exited the room, he hit someone in their back. Like one of the people working like the video, like camera footage for the stream, like just kind of hit them like with his fist. Yeah, so it was hard enough that they ended up like calling the police. Like it's like police got involved. And yeah, they ended up you know, kicking him out of the tournament basically on the spot. So yeah, kind of unbelievable, just kind of shocking. Yeah, so now Christopher's results get annulled because according to FIDE rules, if you haven't played half the tournament yet and you withdraw for whatever reason or are withdrawn, then your results get wiped, which is a bit unfortunate, but I don't know what else you're supposed to do. I mean, that's the FIDE rule. So yeah. But yeah, I believe the person's okay. The person he hit, I believe they're fine. But still, it's like absolutely insane. And unfortunate. 'Cause yeah. You hate to see it. Okay, bishop e3, d6. So neither side is seemingly caring about the double pawns. In fact, they're both like inviting it. Like, go ahead, you can double my pawns. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, totally unthinkable. Like, I like this whole year has just been one like wild thing after another, but this one like really is just like insane. What would have happened with the results if it had been over halfway? So yeah, the games he played do get rated. If it was past the halfway mark, I think then they keep the results and the rest of the players just get a half point for that game. So they still would get a bye round, and then they would get a half point, and then I think they would keep his results. I think that's how it would work. Hey, Mike Squad, thanks for following. Hello. Found this on YouTube. Nice. That's what we're here for. We're trying to create some very educational content for the most part and help folks out there find the tools, structure, and community necessary to improve their chess. Okay, we're working on a mission statement. We're workshopping it. If you guys have any ideas, you let me know. But yeah, we're working on our mission statement. But that's what the dojo is. So glad you're here. YouTube, Twitch. Was it the last US championship that Sevian broke a king in half? Yeah, that was last US championship. Sevian and Hans had this like weird thing with the king. That was a whole thing. I don't even know like the real story ever came out on that. But yeah, that was wild. So many wild things happening. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me, okay? I just live here. Okay, I'm curious about this this Hans game. Just want to see. So queen c7, bishop d3, bishop c5, knight e2, f6. Levon playing really fast, so like he seems to be totally in his preparation, and Hans is the one that's been like thinking. But Hans is the one that should have been like well prepared here because he's the one that went into this line. Like Levon has been playing French. He's already had this position against someone else. So h4 Hans would have known. Bishop b7. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not the main move, but you would think it's pretty typical. So far, Black has only made logical moves, but yeah, somewhere Levon left Hans's book. And now Hans has a pretty challenging position. Like, this is not a fun position to play when your opponent is in book and is like, you know, Levon is like super well prepared, like former 2800, and you have like a sharp situation. Like, you need to figure out, like, casting queen side, king side. Is this pawn hanging? How do we deal with this? Feels like we have a couple like reasonable moves, but still. Yeah. Something for white to figure out. Yeah, the games that Christopher played will still be rated. Question. Mike Squad, around 1600, looking to improve, currently reading The Amateur's Mind by Jeremy Silman. What books would I recommend? Yeah, it kind of depends on which book, what you're working on in terms of your chess. Like, are you working more on your calculation or your positional chess? Probably eventually you'll have to work on either one. But yeah, I would say in general, if unless calculation is like really absolutely your strength, like probably like some good puzzle books, some good combination books would be useful. We have a bunch of recommendations if you go to our site, and I think Filet posted the link, but it got modded. Thank you for that, Mubot. I think Jake got it in. Why was Jake allowed? I think Jake got the link in, so that's nice. That link should be, should be whitelisted anyway. Yeah. So yeah, there you have our like full recommendations on our page there. Oh, Rengot got it. Nice. Oh, Jake also got sniped. Oh, I didn't see that on my end. I saw your message, but I didn't see that it got blocked. Oh, and then Merle's got blocked for like a totally fine thing. Oh, how dare you say F-file. Oh. Okay, we got it from Renga. Thank you, Renga. So, yeah, there's a link for our site with all of our official recommendations there per level, so you can see based on your level all of our options. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask, or if you have questions on specific books, I'm here for you guys. I'm happy to answer whatever you want. Also, folks, you let me know what game you want to follow. Like, this game's pretty interesting. I'm curious if Hans is going to go here, or Queen G3 to me makes sense because it hits G7. We cover this one. Maybe he's thinking about this endgame, like take, Queen E5, Queen E5, Knight E5, Knight takes E6, Knight takes D3 check, C takes D3, King E7, Knight D4. Feels like white would be better there. I'm not sure. Okay, he decides just castle. So if takes, Knight E5, he has bishop C5. If takes, bishop D4, he has Knight D4. And then Queen E5, there's Queen F7 check. Knight E5, there's Knight takes E6. Okay, so castling makes sense. This kind of prepares for FE. But of course, black can also castle and then reinforce this threat. But then white will have time to go Queen E3, Queen G3, something to defend this pawn. Thanks for following. Yeah, what's the plan after black castles here? I'm not sure. Maybe Queen G3, maybe Queen e3, kind of my best guesses. Yeah, gotcha. Mike's gotcha. Silman is great. Like, I think the Silman books are all very good, and will be very helpful for your level. And then, yeah, there's lots of good like tactics and calculation books out there. I think one that we recommend for around your level is Chess Tactics from Scratch. That might be a good one, because that will kind of teach you how to break down and try to spot tactics better in your games. Of course, big part of improvement, you know, if you're following dojo content, you're aware of our beliefs, but like playing games, long time control games, analyzing those games, like really trying to like learn from your mistakes, like that's kind of super, you know, helpful too. But yeah, I feel like we need more of a tactics book list. Honestly, I feel like our tactics books are slightly lacking. Do you guys have any? Just like if everyone could just name like their one tactics or calculation book that they feel helped them the most, I'd be curious what that is, because I feel like we don't have all the best ones in the program. IMO. In my opined opinion. So I'm curious if you guys have any favorite like just one favorite like tactics or combination book. For me, I can name a couple. Unfortunately, I'm gonna cheat, but I would say I mean, okay, I really like Perfect Your Chess. I would say that's maybe my favorite if I had to pick one. Like that one was really good. But there's others that I also really like. Okay, so let's see what we got. Forcing chess moves. Forcing chess moves is hard. 1001 chess exercises for beginners. That's in the program. Instructive chess puzzles from Burgess. I haven't seen that one. Instructive. Maybe I should. I'm gonna make a list. That's what I'm gonna do. Make a list. Instructive chess puzzles from Burgess. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ivashenko books. If I know the ones you're talking about like the manual of chess combinations, right? Because I agree, those are very good. Yeah, woodpecker method. Yeah, of course we know about woodpecker method. That's in the program. That's in there. Imagination in chess. That's a good one. Yeah, I really like the manual of chess combinations. Those are great actually. I think they're just hard. I think they're hard to find sometimes. But other than that, like I think they have really good material. For nice range of levels too. Maybe I'll add that book. I'm gonna lobby to add that book to the program. Oh yeah, Online Tactics Tune-Up. That's a great book. Love that book. Oh, Chess Tactics for Champions. One Step Beyond Hanging Pieces. I feel like I've seen a bit of that book. I thought I liked it from what I remember. Chess Tactics for Champions. Let me add that. Okay, good. Some good recommendations. Neistat and Hinken. What's the Hinken book? Neistat, I think I am familiar. Which one is Hinken? Oh, so that's why is the French being played so much these days? I don't know. I guess it's like back in fashion. I guess Stockfish 17 decided that French is not so bad, and now they're playing a lot of these positions again. To me, it's surprising. When I was looking at the French recently, it looked very scary and risky for black. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, unless you're like, like a French deviant, like you gotta play French, like you really just like the French defense. I wouldn't suggest it. I would, if you want like something positional, I would like just say Caro-Kann. I think is gonna be much easier to learn and play. But yeah, if you really like gotta play the French, then I guess go ahead by all means. But yeah, I don't know. Somehow I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Doesn't smell right. Doesn't smell right. Yeah, white could take here on f6. I think this is definitely a big option. Just kind of weaken because it takes. Knight can't take, right? Bishop is hanging, and bishop d4, knight d4. Well, e6 pawn is going to be attacked, so black will have to go rook takes f6, which doesn't. This is not generally not a good structure for black. Like multiple pawn islands, e6 pawn is weak. Generally, white is pretty happy there, but maybe there's some play, like maybe there's some e5, like who knows? But queen e3 also white can start with, so. Ef6 definitely a move here. Maybe black goes gf. I don't know. But still, it looks. I mean, I'm not really sure, but of course, to me, it just looks like black's king is weakened, and white should be having a nice position. Maybe rook ae1 there. I would think white is happy, but. It's hard. I'm not sure what I would do in this position. I think it's pretty complicated, which is probably why Hans is thinking. Because to me, it's like queen e3, queen g3 are both options. Not rook e1. Like taking on f6 followed by rook e1 seems like an option. Maybe something else. I think we do have to deal with the fe5 threat, so at least we we have that to anchor us. Taking on c5, I think, is also possible because then it brings the knight off of d7. But we'll still have an issue with our e-pawn. Whoop. Excuse me. So, yeah, I'm thinking either ef6 or one of these queen moves. No, rest day was 2 days ago. Yusupov series, yeah, also I've heard good things for sure. Hinken 1000 checkmate combinations. Got it. Oh, think like a super jam. Yeah, that's in our program, but actually I'm gonna add that to my list because I need to just read that book. So I want to think like a super jam. Checkmate combos. Yeah, it's not my fault. I'm just stupid. I want to think like super jam. Okay. H5 issues we have to be dealing with f takes e5. Yeah. So Hans thinking. Let me check with Fabi, see how he's doing. Knight c3, a6, bishop e3, d6. Take castles, queen d6. And okay, it's a position. Looks Looks like it should be close to even for white, but I'm sure Fabi has designs on doing stuff. Probably connected with some f4 ideas. I feel like that would be kind of my main thought about the position, is looking to play f4. Oh, is opponent going to castle queenside? Maybe, actually, it's a thought, especially after queen d6. He might be looking for bishop g4 castles queenside. And if white goes h3 to kind of prevent bishop g4, then g5 could happen for sure. So we got to move. Knight d5, okay. Fabi's one step ahead. So knight d5, and on bishop g4, maybe he can play c3 to cover the d4 square, or knight e3 to hit g4. Knight e3, bishop h5, knight f5, queen f8, knight g3. In general, seems like white is okay, but probably black is also okay. What to do though, because as black, you want to develop bishop e6. I wouldn't really like, just because you play g3 and then it doesn't seem like black will be able to do much. Eventually knight comes to h4, you have this h5 square, it just seems like nice structure for white. So bishop e6 I don't really like. Knight takes d5 ed. Whoops. To me this looks bad for black, because knight d4 we have knight takes e5 and then rook e1. So bishop d7 maybe, let's say, just to develop. And yeah, I don't see why, or what white's doing here that's so amazing. So bishop d7 looks okay for me. Bishop g4 also looks fine. Like knight e3, I mean, you can go bishop h5, you can drop back bishop e6. You can go maybe h5. h3. And then bishop e6. Not totally sure, but seems like an option. Seems like an option. Hans played queen e4? Queen e3. Okay. Interesting. So on takes, he's just going to recapture. And if black takes on d4, let's say he goes knight d4 most likely. And he's saying that one way or the other, he's going to take on e6 and be happy. Take here. So we're getting some endgame like this. It seems. If Levon wants. Then maybe here. Or knight d4. Maybe knight d4 to be safe, and I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate something like this. I would think white is either a little bit better or it's equal. So maybe I would say white has a small edge, but maybe it's more than a small edge. I don't know. I mean, pawn on d5, bishop on b7, not so great. Probably that's a small edge. But what else can black do? Because otherwise, white is just kind of strengthening their position. Rook e1, c3. So, like, can black get away with just playing rook e8 and just trying to improve his situation? I'm not sure. Rook e1, c3. Yeah, Levon, very creative player. I really do enjoy watching him play. I agree. Very fun. Okay, I also wanted to see this Dominguez Mishra game, because I was just curious what was the opening here. Okay, it was Najdorf. Najdorf Sicilian. e5, knight f3. So Lanier plays it kind of positional. And we got some typical Typical kind of structure thing. It looks like a Fischer position. Like he has this Fischer bishop, like his Najdorf structure. Seems a little bit more pleasant for white, but maybe it's not so bad. We'll see if Dominguez can cook something up here. Let's see, Shankland. Oh, another French. Man, French is really contagious, huh? One player starts playing and then everyone starts playing. Okay, 92 Shankland play. This is what Fabi did, and he beat Mishra. So c3, knight f3. Okay, this is different, f6. Okay, this is a different story. And Shankland thinking here, so he might have been... Maybe he didn't check exactly what to do in this position, right? Spent a lot of time to get here. Interesting. Okay, so some kind of opening battle here as well. Yeah, knight f4 is the typical move for white that you would look at. But of course, black has a lot of ideas. There's checks. There's takes on e5s and then checks. So it's hard to say exactly. Shankland plays both moves with white, d4 and e4, and in fact, I've definitely seen him play some knight f3 and c4 as well. So he's actually pretty versatile, but he's done a good chunk of e4 in his career as well. Yeah, so knight f4, how would black deal with this? Like, you could go knight b6, but it seems like you would want something a little bit more active as black. A lot of times I feel like black looks for a move like this, queen b6. Check this out, folks. And then on knight takes e6, knight takes e5. And like, why should white be better here? We're just playing with one knight. So sometimes tactics like this work for black. So if it takes, then we take here with check. Let's say queen takes, and then, I don't know, maybe we can take here, maybe we just take here. And, yeah, honestly, I don't really know what's happening here. It's kind of, it's still kind of a messy situation. But that's the kind of stuff that I think you would look at for black. And then if takes, maybe here. Then it seems like black is pretty active. So I don't know, but Shankland's thinking about it. So he might come to the conclusion that there's nothing special and black has to go knight b6. You know, we'll see. Krista winning again. Let's take a look. I'm curious about her game today because she's playing Tatev. Yeah, this one was a Dubov Italian. d4 takes b4. So Tatev going for it today. Very sharp stuff. And I don't know when they left theory. b5, knight e7. Maybe you guys know something about this line. Takes, rook takes, knight c3, bishop a5. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know what's happening here, but first glance, it does kind of look nice for black, like bishop d2. Black can take on g2 at some point, or take on c3 and go knight d5. But it's still very, I mean, it looks very messy to me, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tatev finds some dynamic opportunities here. That said, Chris has been playing like amazing so far, like Jesus Christ. Just killing everybody. Just like not, I mean, just give her the title, you know? I mean, it's just like 5 out of 5. I mean, crazy. Just playing out of her mind since the Olympiad. Like, she was the best player in the Olympiad, and now she's like best player here so far. just give her a GM title. Give her, I was saying this yesterday. Give her the match with Ju and Jun. Just give her the match. Like, I think she deserves that. What's the point of the Duba Battalion over C3, D4 lines, other Evans Gammon line? Well, it's like less explored. I think it's not as well known as the other stuff. I mean, in terms of like the concrete differences, I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you just off the top of my head, but yeah, there's some difference that this B4 move makes. Yeah, Evans Gambit just kind of leads to slightly different positions, I would say. But yeah, it's nice. Like, you rarely get a fresh line in E4, E5. So when this thing first came out, everyone was really excited about it because like, oh, like, ooh, nice, like a new weapon against E4, E5. Like, let's go. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think it seems pretty. It seems like Black is holding their own here if they know their stuff. Okay, Bishop D2 played. So let's see if Black takes on C3, goes knight D5, or Rick takes G2. Oh, thanks, Filet. Thank you. Yeah, that was a good one. I feel like we've got some good opening videos on this channel, believe it or not. But yeah, I got to get back to doing more opening work at some point. Oh, you like the Dojo speedrun vids? Yeah, I've heard some good things about those from quite a few people. I definitely want to bring those back at some point. It's just, yeah, the problem is there's just like so many things to do. It's hard to do everything, it's hard to have time for everything. I hope you guys understand. But yeah, no, I agree. I think the speedrun content was good. And I think it's very instructive. I think people find it instructive. It's fun to do, So yeah, I definitely want to bring that back at some point. Okay, right now, here's my priorities. Priorities are like US Championships coverage, like, watching these games live, I think is pretty fun. I do want to do that. Obviously, I'm like working on my chess and like analyze my games, like all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. That's, yeah. But then we got, we got lots of stuff happening in the dojo right now. Like, we're working on the heat map, like improving the heat map, arguing about the colors. There should be one color, multiple colors. Big debate happening. The dojo book is coming out soon, so that's exciting. We got a book coming out on analyzing your own games, like tons of like student annotations, like a collection of student games. So that'll be cool. Hopefully that'll inspire people to annotate their own games. Yeah, we got big updates coming to the game editor, so you can like upload all your games and do your opening analysis on the site, like using the database, the engine, the game editor, and all that stuff. So lots of updates there. Got the engine, obviously, and then we're working on tests too and problems. Because I'm very excited about tests, because I feel like our test app is super cool. Because it's not one of those puzzle apps where you input one move at a time. It tells you like right or wrong, but like you got to input all the variations yourself. And we got like the new tactics rating. Soon we'll have like a positional rating, opening rating, endgame rating, and you will be able to test yourself in these different aspects and like solve problems, all kinds of different puzzles. So I think that's going to be super awesome. But yeah, that's taking up a lot of time as well. So a lot of priorities, and then of course, obviously, we want to do like Dojo talks, and we do other stuff and stream, and yeah. So the speed runs, it's like they take a backseat sometimes to all this other stuff, but I do want to bring it back at some point because I know people like it. I want to give people what they want, and also I want to give people good content to help them improve. Okay, so we'll leave them to it. Sharp situation there. See what's going on. Ooh, Shanklin, by the way, played knight f4. So we're going to get an answer to this question. Love it. Love it. And Hans and Levon went for the endgame. So we're going to see if this endgame is something special for white or not. I love it when the players, like, they hear our questions and they answer them. They're like, here, we'll do an endgame sensei for you guys. Like, basically, we're going to see this endgame and we're going to see, like, is white a little bit better here or is black fine? Will Levon hold it comfortably? So, very instructive. Love to see it. Then we also got the Fabi game. So knight d5, Oparin took knight e7. Okay, that makes sense. That's very logical, covering against knight takes e5. And now queen e1, cheeky, queen e1. So he gets out of the way of any bishop g4s. Because, for example, if queen e2, bishop g4, obviously you can't take with the knight. And then if you take with the queen, let's say black takes here, this is hanging, so you have to take. Black fixes their structure, and then you have to take here. And white's a pawn up, but at what cost? At what cost? Black now gets some gorgeous squares for the knight. Maybe even g5. Actually, no, not knight e7. Let's like castle first, and then knight g6. And yeah, it seems like black would be very happy here. So he goes queen e1 instead. So what does that change? So on bishop g4, he can take with the knight then. And so what does black do? You don't really want to play f6. You got to deal with like knight h4, f4 stuff. And if knight g6, then knight takes e5 is a problem, right? Let's see. Take, queen takes, we trade. We go rook e1, f6, and then f4 would be the logical follow-up. And this seems like this is good for white, because how does black's king get out of the center? If castles, then you got to deal with takes, d6 check, and it's resigns. You're losing material. So that would be a GG. Yeah, unlimited. I'm not really sure. I can't explain it myself, but very sad. So knight g6, knight takes e5, and then if knight e5, f4 immediately, f6. Hard to imagine this being fun for black. On queen e5, we trade queens, we go rook e1, black's king is stuck in the center, and we're going to be a pawn up on fe5. Again, black's king is in the center. Feels like this would be a very, very difficult position for black. Queen g3 or queen h4. Let's say queen g3, rook ae1, and then, yeah, I think black is busted. Oparin is an expert in chess openings. That's funny. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's funny. Yeah. If f6 and Merles is giving knight d2 and knight e4. Yeah, this could be annoying, huh? Knight d2, bishop f5, knight e4, take. Maybe this is not so bad for black actually. So bishop f5, I think, on knight d2. Because this one, I think black is probably fine. Kind of closed position. White's bishop isn't so strong. So f6, I feel like you kind of have to play. It's not the move you want to play, but... Oh, he's probably also thinking about knight takes d5. Excuse me. This could be a move as well. Because if you take the pawn, you can put the bishop on e6 and kind of cover the e-file. So this might be black's most kind of solid attempt, right? Like, I don't think there's anything insanely terrible here about this. So knight takes d5 might be a big question here from a part. Okay, guys, question for the chat. What do you guys think about knight takes d5? Knight d2 on the board. Nice. We're calling Fabi's moves. So Merles was saying bishop f5, f4. f4 is very unpleasant for black because you're not castled yet. So ef4, what would be the idea there? Knight e4, take. Castle, rook e1, rook d7. Hard to judge for me, hard to judge. Yeah, f5 may be an option for black as well. Oh, knight takes d5 and then f4. Oh, okay. So this is an option. This is an option. Yeah, knight d5 an option here too. And then again, maybe white wants f4 to bust black open. But clearly Fabi's comfortable with it. I think I mean, minimum he has knight e4, right? And then queen c6. How do we get the pawn back? Knight d5, knight e4, queen c6. Yeah, so maybe knight d5, the idea is just immediate f4 and then creating some... But still. Okay, maybe black goes bishop f5. Maybe that's more solid. But he might decide he needs to take on d5. Definitely concrete question. Okay, bishop f5 played. Yeah, to me this looked most logical. Just developing and trying to get castled quickly. On knight e4, black is ready to take. Now the question is, can white generate something on this turn, basically, like this move? Because knight e4 doesn't really do much. Black takes and is solid. Maybe there's some f4 here. ef, knight e4, take, castles, rook e1, rook d7, rook takes f4, and argue that white has good control over stuff. Maybe. Have I become more self-conscious about my chess games being played OTB because people are often watching live and critiquing? I would say I've become less self-conscious. Like at the beginning, I was a bit more like nervous about it. Like people always watching my games, I blunder something, people are like, oh, Kostya is so bad at tactics, you should do some tactics. Yeah, guys, I know. Okay, I know. Like I was there. Okay. So, oh, he needs to work on his endgames. Yeah, guys, I also know about that one. Okay, I was also there for the endgame thing. But yeah, no, now I think I've gotten less sensitive to it. So I'm more used to people watching me. If anything, I think it might even be an advantage. Like, because if I'm playing on a DGT board and my opponent is playing, and they might be nervous that like the game is being streamed and commented on, whereas for me, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm used to Jesse calling me a chump and so on. So not a big deal. How about queen e2? Queen e2 maybe. Seems reasonable. But Fabi just played queen e1 like a move ago, so it's you know, it's like it's a little weird to then go queen e2. And it doesn't really come with much of a threat because queen h5, like there's bishop g6, and anyway black is going to castle. So queen e2, I don't really feel like it comes with a lot of punch. Does white have something better? I don't know. Maybe like bishop a2, knight c4, but bishop a2, blacks can go b5. So yeah. Yeah, why are Kostya's opening so bad? Yeah, I'm used to it. Initially, it was the thing I was since. I mean, yeah, I would say like the very first time I played on DGT, you know, it was like before Dojo, but still, it was like that was already a little bit nerve-wracking. Or playing with like the Monroy and knowing that like your games are being broadcast, and yeah, so over the years, I've just gotten more and more used to it, and then having people like comment on the game, like first time, yeah, that was a little weird, but since then I've definitely just gotten more or less accustomed to it. We do see 94 from Fabi. Interesting. So I guess he believes in this position with the bishop versus the knight. I'm not even sure how he's going to take back on e4. Like, queen seems to make more sense, but I feel like I don't understand this position. So maybe he'll take back with the pawn. Maybe he takes back with the pawn and then brings the bishop to e2. Okay, let's see. I'm very curious how he's gonna. This is like a question for me. I'm gonna say DE. I'm gonna say DE. I'm saying DE. I'm locking it in. I'm calling it. The 15th move in this game is going to be D takes E4. Oh, played. Let's go. Let's go. Give me that elo. That was worth 3 elo points at least. And I mean, in terms of positional rating, it would be. Like if this was a puzzle on the Dojo site, I would have gotten like 3-5 positional points for that. Welcome to the Dojo. Yeah, I like this. I think maybe you can still fight for a little something. You get the bishop to h3, but hard to say. In general, it feels like black should be pretty solid, but we'll see. Maybe he'll Fabi him. You know, Fabi gonna Fabi. Okay, Hans. I just want to see what happens. Takes. He doesn't take on e6 here. I thought we would take on e6. He goes rook e1, knight c4, takes on c4, takes here, and now c3 from Levon. Oh, question it on f5. If f5, I wouldn't automatically go f3. Actually, my first instinct would be f4. Because I would try to take advantage of black's king still being in the center. And to try to open things up for my pieces that are potentially more developed. So I'd be going f4 here, I think. So if takes, then we got queen e4, minimum. If ef, we got e5. And then, of course, this would be, like, beautiful for white. Then I think if you get this, black just resigns on the spot. Because, yeah, it's too strong. So here black would have to like quickly try to get out, but no, this is not going to be good. So you can't go that way. So it could be very dangerous for black to try to open things up this quickly. And if you castle queenside, maybe this is playable. But even here, I would think white is potentially happy. Okay, ef, there's queen d4 check. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like this. I'm not sure. I have no idea what's happening here. But this could be very critical. Yeah, but I would definitely look at this over f3. I'd also maybe even look at just taking as well. Because taking, like knight takes f4, once again, black is kind of caught. This might even be easier, actually much easier for white, because black is just caught behind. So maybe just ef. And then black would have to like castle and try to scramble, I think, to get the pawn back. Okay, this one, so what's happening here? So c3, Rolls is saying bishop d5 coming, and black is fine. Yeah, might be right. Okay, Shankland. What we had here. So take 6, f6, you went knight f4, check. Queen e7, okay, another normal way of defending e6. Take. And now they're here, both players out of book. And we have another kind of French. This one reminds me more of like a Tarash French, like a 92 line. But I think it's very concrete. Like, I think it really depends on, like, the evaluation depends on how quickly black is getting castles and and knight e4 and counterplay with e5. And if that comes fast, then black might be totally fine. For me, it's hard to say at first glance. I don't really know this position, but I guess I would believe in white. Bishop d3, bishop b5 maybe, followed by castles, rook e1. Yeah, e6 pawn is weak, but that's a big question, whether black will be able to just get rid of the weakness with castles in a quick e5, if possible. Black would love to do that. But, well, that's a concrete question. I don't know if that's happening or not. But let's see. Shanklin to play. Am I texting or eating? Both. Both. Yeah, just having a bit of lunch here. You guys enjoy the games. I'll be back to my professional commentary shortly. This was a French, yeah. But I don't think this was, no, this wasn't following Dojo repertoire. This was like a classical French with a early 92. Yeah, not much going on. Everyone thinking. Um, everyone's just like thinking about something. I don't know what. Maybe something's going on. Maybe a fire alarm went off. At this point, I'll believe anything. Someone's giving a speech or something. Everyone's patiently listening. Okay, Mishra moved. He took on d5. So he wants to clarify the position. I would expect rook d5 here. Most times out of 10. Because it makes more sense to take with the piece, pile up on the d file. But ed5 would happen if and only if he was looking to play like b4 and c4 and c5 and play for this, which doesn't seem super feasible at the moment. So yeah, I would expect this one, but let's see. Yeah, I like rook takes as well. I don't know if anyone likes pawn takes, but Dominguez is thinking about it, which means like to him it's it's a clear decision. It's not so obvious. The longer he thinks, the more I feel like he's going to be going pawn takes, because this is like, for me, this is the counterintuitive anti-positional decision. So he might be convincing himself to take with the pawn. Rook takes, I feel like, would be played in most blitz games, because it just makes sense. You want to use the outpost by putting pieces on it. If you put a pawn here, you lose the outpost. You can no longer put your stuff on there. Yeah, ED, knight has to go somewhere, fair. But knight b8, knight d7 is not so slow. It just takes black like one move to get the knight back. Like takes knight b8. Let's say white goes c4, knight d7, b4. The knight is good here. It can come to f6. Black can go f5. It seems like a reasonable version of this kind of position for black. b6. Oh, we have a move. We have a move. Okay. Drum roll. Drum roll, please. Okay. He took with rook. Okay. Maybe he was just in the bathroom or something. So, for all that, he takes with the rook. Rook fd1 coming. Queen d2 coming. Faith in chess strategy restored. Nice. Okay, Hans. Hans is something a little interesting. c3, he goes b4. Levon, rook d8 quickly. Levon playing like he's got a tennis appointment or something. Knight b3, so fast. Bishop d5. And I think they're going to make a draw here. I think black's taking on b3, going rook d2, and they're slowly liquidating. Okay, solid results for both players. So yeah, this one looking very much like a draw. Not sure what the point of giving rook c8 check is if you're not going to go rook c7 check. And yeah, I feel like we're just going to get a repetition here very soon. I mean, black could play like king h5, but I feel like he is content with a draw. So I just imagine both players are going to be happy to repeat moves here. Yeah, king f8, and I think they're just repeating. Gilbyfish123, thank you for rating. Hello, hello. Welcome, folks. Welcome. What's up? Hi. We are watching U.S. Championships round 6. This game is about to finish in a draw. So half point each. First game of the day, I think, to end. And yeah, there's other more interesting games going on. Let's see what Fabi did. Castles, b4. Okay, so Fabi playing for some queenside stuff. Good luck to him on that. And then Shanklin Robson. This might be the most like fighting position. We have a3 here, and we'll see if Ray can equalize this this French. There's also this game like Wesley So against Sevian. We haven't looked at too much. This was like classic English. Oh, Vipov, thank you for subscribing. Oh, no, MD Knight, thank you for gifting the sub. I always miss that it's a gift. I apologize. Thank you for gifting the sub. So classic English here, 96, okay. Take. Here. Yeah, very typical position. I would think white has maybe a tiny small edge, but objectively black should probably be fine. So we'll see if Sevian can hold it. Okay, for me, most interesting game in terms of position, maybe this one, Shankland Shanklin Robson, kind of combative. A3, hitting the bishop. If bishop d2, we're going to have queen d2. Castles, bishop d3 or bishop e4, knight e4 stuff. Could get sharp. Could get sharp. Oh, WR Masters Final Armageddon also going on. Dang, there's so many good chess tournaments these days. That looks exciting. There's this like GCL thing, U.S. Championship. Of course, we can't move away from U.S. Championships. This is too important. But yeah, it's nice how many good events there are out there right now. I'm eating a turkey sandwich with coleslaw and potatoes. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Am I on my way to become a GM? Yeah, I'm actually heading there right now. Going to the GM office to submit my application. I feel like, I've been playing good chess these last couple of years. And yeah, I deserve a chance. I deserve a shot, at the title. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking the bus down to the office later today. Did I complete the norms? No, I did not. I'm just applying. I'm just gonna ask really nicely. I thought it was like an application thing, like maybe you have to take some test. Like they show you a position and then you have to be like, yeah, but okay, and then yeah, they give you the title. Yeah, that's the plan. Dojo house, norm events. Maybe like an internship kind of thing. Like remember that house they had in like Fight Club where people would like join and then they would have to like wait outside for like 3 days and then they'd get in. It was like kind of like a cult. Maybe like that, like an internship kind of situation. That could be fun. Another question. So many questions today. Are we gonna see bishop d takes d2 here, folks, or bishop d6 back, keeping more dynamic opportunities in the position? I kind of feel like we're gonna see bishop d6. The more I look at it. Seems better for black, yeah, to keep the bishops. How do you know when to trade, when not to? So in general, my answer to this question would be to think about the resulting position and the resulting pieces on the board. So I suggest not thinking about necessarily about the bishops, like whose bishop is better or something like that. I think what's more important is like what's the resulting evaluation. And so you have to compare this position, bishop d2, queen d2, with this position, bishop d6, and figure out which one suits black more. And that's not always an easy question. Like here, I think it's not a simple answer. And Robson is thinking about it, so it's not a simple choice for him either. But that's kind of what you're trying to weigh when you're thinking about a trade or not. Does it improve your position or worsen it to trade the pieces? And here it's not clear to me, like what black does get from bishop d2 is they get a tempo. Because they get to take, white has to respond. And then black gets to like keep their game going. Castles, knight e4, and so on. On bishop d6, that doesn't come with any special threat. So white has time to develop their play. So bishop d6, bishop b5, playing against e5. Maybe e5 anyway. So it might be thinking about this. Bishop d6, bishop b5, e5. And yeah, I don't think, actually I wouldn't like that for black because you're giving up the bishop pair. So maybe he's thinking about bishop takes d2, queen takes d2, and e5 right there. That could be pretty annoying for white. So I think that's what Ray's calculating. Like, is bishop d2, can he generate enough play after that? If not, then maybe bishop d6. Oh, trades on d2. a3 takes. And now what's going to be the follow-up? Is he going e5? Or castles knight e4? e5 I didn't see such a big problem with, I gotta say. And if he can get away with e5, then why not go e5, you know? e5 is the move you would like to play. e5, knight d5, bishop c4. I'm not sure you get enough here for the piece. I feel like black would be quite okay here. Either knight f4, maybe knight b6 more solid. And then if e5 takes, you gotta be very careful not to take on d5, because then you get walloped with one of these checks, probably this one. And black is going to be winning a lot more material here. Extra, oh wait, it could be extra. Yeah, extra piece is enough. So e5 played. e5 played, nice. Oh, throwing an e takes d4 check for black? Yeah, also, no, actually not good, because take... Oh, you mean at the end? Yeah. So take first, bishop c4, a take here. Yeah. This is also possible for black. Although if here, I mean, sometimes you're not totally happy to do this, but I feel like black should be okay here as well. Bishop e6 and then castle. Yeah, should be all right. So e5. So Shanklin has to figure something out here. Take bishop e2. Black can take on f3. Force us to take with that g pawn. That doesn't look so good. Take. Trade. And then bishop e2. Here I felt like black is going to continue to be annoying with knight e4. And then you have to defend this. You have to defend this. Maybe it's like not so special, but it seems like black is active, so I think I would be pretty reasonable. Feel pretty happy as black here. No, can't take on d5 because of the double check. So knight takes f3. Just kills white. And then you can take on d5 here or take on d2. I think both are very good for black. So e5, maybe you could do something like take, and then queen e2, go for this endgame. But I feel like black is solid here. Again, has knight e4. So seems like Rayo's okay. Shanklin takes, so he sees something, or he feels like, okay, has to take. But I wonder what his follow-up will be after knight e5. I'm really not sure. I guess we'll have to see. How's Carissa doing? Let's take a look. Carissa, I heard, was doing well out of the opening, but position is pretty chaotic. So let's see. So we had this take here, knight c3 here, bishop d2, knight d5, queen e5, and now f6. Ooh, f6 is a cold-blooded move. So queen takes e6, there's rook e7. Good night to the queen. But otherwise, why do we play queen e5? We're just losing time. Tadev might have missed this one. And so, Carissa looking good. Carissa looking good right now, gotta say. just takes on c3 now, and I don't really see it for white. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like just something went wrong in the opening for white here. Sharp, very sharp line, and if you mess up one thing, then it can go bad. So unfortunate. So bishop c3. Could take with knight as well, but yeah, this seems fine. Yeah, no worries. I mean, Chris is on fire, Chris is just playing out of her mind. She's decided that she's just gonna not stop winning games until she's world champion. And more power to her. Does Hans get analysis time? Yeah, Hans finished his game already in a quick draw. We were looking at it earlier. And his game is done. He made a quick draw against Levon. Not that quick, but it was the first game to end. It's over. Yeah, maybe she didn't want to get stuck in the pin with knight c3. So maybe bishop c3 is safer. We have lots of other games going on. Yeah, normally we would be looking at Hans's game. Yeah, as usual. He is a pretty interesting player. b4, b6, take. This is Fabi. Take. Oh, wow. Oparin. He doesn't fear the discovered attack, huh? He's got queen takes, rook e8, wins the pawn, and black would be extremely happy. Chess is a concrete game. So queen c5. I imagine we're going to see maybe either queen e2 or probably bishop b3. I feel like dropping back seems solid. And then king h8. Maybe some queen b4. Maybe white is a bit better here, because you always have this d6 pawn break, although black can reposition knight c8, knight d6. So probably black is okay, I think. Probably black is fine. Okay, we're kind of watching this game, so I'm curious. So Shanklin did trade. So queen takes, definitely happening. Well, what's Ray doing? What he's thinking about this? Ray, you get into time trouble every single game. You're thinking about queen takes e5? Buddy, spare your friends. Make your move. He probably played it so slow too, he's not down on the clock. Come on, Ray, move. All right, and now bishop e2 or queen e2 both make sense. Queen e2 definitely feels awkward, but if you wanted the endgame, you could play it. Knight e4 is a problem. Queen e2 played. Wow, Sam. But okay, on knight e4, I guess he has queen h5 to force the queens off. Take. Pretty safe endgame, though, I would think, for black. I feel like take castles. I don't think black should have huge struggles here. I could be wrong. I mean, this pawn on d5 is weak. It just feels like black is going to be active enough to compensate for it. We'll see, though. We'll see. Oh, Fabi just played queen b4 right away. Oh, yeah, of course. This is another way to defend the bishop. And then you're offering black to improve your structure for you. That would be really nice to get a b4 and then c4, c5. Forget about it. So queen d6. Oparin's like, no way in hell I'm taking on b4, Fabi. I mean, I'm your second, but I don't know you like that, dog. And now is Fabi going to take on d6? Probably not. I don't think he knows him like that either. So we're just going to get a classic standoff here. Bishop b3, bishop d3. Both look like moves. Will be interesting to see what white actually does here. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Back up off me, bro. Exactly. Okay, folks, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up for today. Got a lot of stuff to work on here in Dojo land. So U.S. Championships continues. Let's quickly just go through these games. So Fabi, he's better on the clock, maybe tiny bit better on the position, but kind of expect this game to end in a draw. Dominguez Mishra, I'm gonna guess this one probably is gonna be a draw as well. Maybe Dominguez will manage to grind it out. Shanklin Robson feels pretty drawish also. Feels pretty, maybe Sam will get something, but feels kind of drawish as well. I think Ray will hold it. And then So Sevian, this one also feels kind of equal in drawish. So yeah, we might be getting 5 draws today in the Open. Who knows? Meanwhile, Carissa I think is probably winning this, although White just castled. Rook comes to e1. I've certainly lost these kinds of positions to Tadev before. Up a piece. Doesn't really matter. A strong attacker can get you. So this might not be so straightforward, but yeah, likely Carissa will take this one because she is just playing out of her mind. Okay, folks. Yeah, I think that'll wrap it up. I'll probably be back tomorrow with another stream for U.S. Championship, so stay tuned for that. We'll take a look at the games. I got to do some stuff here, then got to get over to the club for the recap later. If you've been missing those have been on the YouTube channel for St. Louis, so definitely check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, folks, visit the dojo, ChessDojo.club, make a free account, see what the site is all about, join the #1 training program that everyone is raving about and everyone always just has the best things to say. Check it out for yourself, ChessDojo.club. Also join the Discord if you haven't already. We got Discord links down below. YouTube, second YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. We're everywhere. Anywhere you can find Chess Dojo.